Hello everyone, VanguardOfValor here, and welcome back to another episode of Dwarf Fortress. Now we're trying this episode today without the lovely background music, because as much as I like it, I think it might be responsible for my audio getting all messed up. So we're going to try without it for now, and then we'll try and maybe work it back in later on, but for now we'll have to make do with no background music, unfortunately. So, what are we doing? Well, we got lots of plants and trees to grow and cut. We have downstairs, we have our storage room and our workshops which are now working. We can go down even further and we see that our bedrooms are more or less set up. Our beds are getting into them. We still need doors for all the rooms, but we're going to set up the bedrooms a little bit more today. We can go all the way up to the top and see that our farm is looking quite nice. We got a lot of land in there, but there's not a whole lot of plants going in, which is a bit of a concern. And we also know that we're fairly low on alcohol as well. If we take a look at our stores, we have no meat left, very little fish, very little plant matter. We're getting very low on food, which is not a very good situation to be in. Food and drink, very low. That's a good way to die. So we're going to hopefully work on fixing that today. We're working on doing some other kind of things like that, and everything should go just fine. Also, we take a look at our dwarf therapist here. We'll sell it to connect to Dwarf Fortress. You can see that we have named a bunch of our dwarves over here. We have Einclusos, we have Axtberg, we have Beldrin, Lemuel, Logan, Theo, Wolfery, Azektor, Glimlin, I don't know how to pronounce that one, Ruerk, Shortstop, Sivart, Trib, and Zimty. You are all in our fortress at last. We will, of course, be adding other names. I picked these names basically randomly from the list, and we'll be adding in other names when we get more dwarves. So don't worry, just because you're not here yet doesn't mean it's never happening. It just might take a little longer, depending on how long it takes us to get more dwarves in our fortress. So, put that away for now, and we'll get back to business down here. What we're going to start off with today is setting up our bedrooms. So we have these rooms here, right? But right now, they're not assigned to anybody. They're not anyone's bedroom. They're just beds that are lying around. So what we're going to do is we're going to assign them to our dwarves so that people have a bedroom that is theirs that they will intentionally go to. They will leave their stuff there. It makes them a lot happier to have their own bedroom. So that's what we're going to start working on. So in order to do that, we're going to hit Q to activate our query tool, which lets us interact with things. And we're going to select the first bedroom we want to interact with. You'll see over here in the top right of the screen, we have R to make bedroom. So we hit R on the bed, we see that we have this section of squares, and that determines how much of that space belongs to that bedroom. Now we don't want to go outside of our front door. If you have a door on the room, it will actually lock it into that room, which is nice and convenient, but we don't have any doors yet, so I'm not going to worry about that. We size the room down 1 to make it the right size, and then we hit enter to make it finished. That's how we make a room. So we'll quickly go through and do that for, say, this whole row. We make it, we size it, we hit enter. We make it, we size it, and again, we hit enter. It's pretty simple. Again, like a lot of these things, it's a little bit of a repetitive task. You have to do it for every bed you want to actually make into a bedroom. It doesn't take too long to do, but you do need to make sure you actually do it, otherwise you'll find yourselves without the actual bedrooms you need, despite the fact that you've gone into all the work of digging out the land and all that kind of stuff. So it is a good thing to do in the long run. So we're going to set down these 2 rows, which should be plenty for the number of doors we have. We might have more than this, so we'll have to go down and check afterwards. But here we go. So now we have a new menu here for our bedroom. We can assign a bed to a certain person. We can make it a free bed. We can make it part of a barracks, part of a dormitory, or we can resize the room again. We can also name the bedroom, I think, but that's kind of silly. So what we're going to do here is we're going to assign the bed to our dwarves. So anyone that has a green name is not assigned to a bed. So we'll give this one first to Lemuel, because we're going to give Beldrin his own room, because he's our expedition leader for the time being. So Lemuel can have this bedroom. So there we go. This is now assigned to Lemuel Febkin. If we come down here, we can give it to the next person. So we'll assign this one. His name is now in brown, indicating he has been given a room. We'll give this one to Einclusos. As we go down the list here, we can assign the beds and give them to all the different people, making sure everyone has their own bedroom. People will, I believe, take... Oh, no, that's not what I want to have seen there. They will take possession of rooms if nobody is in them and they don't have one, but it's nice to assign them so you know that everyone has their own spot. So once we get through our list here, we will get... Actually, maybe we'll just give our expedition leader a tiny bedroom for now. Until he stops being an expedition leader and becomes something a little bit different, we don't have to worry too much about his room requirements. Your nobles can be a little bit picky, which is why we made those noble rooms upstairs. We got plenty of beds here. Plenty of beds. Is there anybody else on this list that we can't see? No, it looks like everybody. So we'll just put Beldrin in a normal room for now. But yeah, there we go. Our beds are now set up. People will be a little bit happier in them, which is good. We do still need to put doors on them, but until then, this will do for now. But if we come in here, we can take a look at our nobles menu. And as of right now, you see here, require, there's nothing in the require tab, which means that we don't have to worry too much about, for example, the things that they want to actually do their job. We're going to set up some other jobs here in a minute, though, I think. If we have any... I believe we have a broker, don't we? Oh, broker. I was looking at the wrong thing. We do have Wolfery, who's going to be our broker. So we're going to set him for that job. He's probably going to require some things from us fairly shortly. We can set up a bookkeeper if we have anyone with those skills. I don't think we do. A chief medical dwarf. We do have a doctor, so we'll set Wolfery as well to be our doctor. As far as manager goes, we don't have anyone with those skills. They will be at the top of the list if you have anyone. And as far as the militia thing goes, we have no one, as far as it looks like, with any relevant militia skills. Well, we do have our one warrior who we're going to deal with later. So we've set up those people. They're going to have some jobs to do, and they'll give us some nice benefits. Having a chief medical dwarf helps with some seeing your overall health of your actual base. Funny thing is, chief medical dwarf has nothing to do with actual medicine. It just means that if you come into here with your Z menu, you can look into the health bar and you can see a health overview of all of your inhabitants. Not necessarily just your dwarves, your animals as well appear in this menu, like we have our cats here. So being able to see the health menu is related to having a chief medical dwarf. So the fact that our information is vague here, the values are vague, the numbers are vague, is related to not having a bookkeeper. So if we go into our nobles menu again, if we set someone to be a bookkeeper and they're having any skill at it, we might be able to actually see what those things say. But as it stands, we don't really have anyone who's good at it, and it's just not a big deal. Our manager lets us do a little bit of fancy stuff with the actual jobs that are being done, but for now we're going to leave it as it is. So we have our couple nobles, that's all we need right now. And 2 nobles, I suppose, because Wolfery is doing double duty. We're going to come in here, and we have a couple things we want to get working as soon as possible. So, we have lots of wood, but as it stands, wood isn't going to help protect us in any way. We don't have any army at the moment, and our doors are basically wide open. We need to build a couple quick things, and one of them is a gate. So before we do that, we're going to quickly build ourselves a... what do you call them? It's a building we're looking for... is the trade depot. There we go. Capital D for trade depot. We're going to place it in this 5x5 area we built earlier. So our trade depot will make out of logs, I guess. Nah, we got plenty of stone. We'll make it out of microcline, because we haven't used microcline for anything yet, I don't think. Make it a blue trade depot so it's easily visible. And they should come in and build us our lovely trade depot there. Now what the trade depot does is it means that people come to actually give us trade deals, we'll be able to trade with them at that location. Without a trade depot, I don't think you actually can make trades or have anyone come to get you, which is bad because they're very useful. So we'll get that working. We're also going to go downstairs to our workshop. As part of building our gate, we're going to go into our mechanics workshop, which is one of these. There it is. It has not yet been built. Okay, so we'll have to let the game run a little bit and let them actually build those shops, rather. Because without our mechanics workshop, our defenses are not going to be able to go up very easily. We'll come upstairs, take a look, see what people are doing. There's a lot of people moving around, which is good. It looks like it's raining outside, which is fine. We want to get that trade depot built fairly quickly, and we want to get our mechanics workshop built fairly quickly. Because mechanics lets you build a lot of fancy little machinery things, and that's going to be very useful for us when it comes to actually trying to defend our base. We're going to build ourselves a drawbridge that way, and use it as a very effective gate if need be. Okay, so... taking a look upstairs at our farms, because that's important too, and we will be able to make some progress from there. So, it looks like they're doing a pretty good job of planting things in there. We do have a bunch of people who now have farming jobs enabled, and a couple people with brewing jobs enabled, so as long as we don't run out of barrels right away, we should be fine for the brewing. Yeah, they're still doing that, that's good. So we'll come back down to our lower level. What's going on here? We have beds being made, and that carpentry shop hasn't been made yet. Well, we have enough beds for now, so we need to stop making beds and start making other more productive things. This game is all about having everything going on simultaneously. Also, our cat just gave birth to a kitten, which is fun. Well, let's come down here, take a look at our list of things we need to build. There's a couple things that are very important. One of them is barrels, but right now, and I guess barrels are our priority right now, actually. One thing we do want to start making is cages, because those are going to be useful later. But what we're going to make right now is some barrels, so we don't run out of barrels. We keep making alcohol so our dwarves don't suddenly die. So let's head in to make some barrels on repeat, which is, of course, selecting it with a V and then hitting R on the item. Oops, wrong button there. Ooh, that's not what I wanted at all. Okay, we can scroll down our list here, see if there's anything else we want to build, but I think that's pretty much what we want. We could make other things. We're going to want tables and chairs in a bit, but for now we want to make sure our food supply lasts, so we're going to go for the barrels. It looks like no one is interested in building us our trade depot, which is unfortunate. Oh no, here he comes. He's just carrying the microcline with him, which makes him a little bit slow. Interestingly enough, if people carry heavy things, they do slow down quite a bit. So as he completes that stage, he'll go back and bring up another one, and then eventually we'll be able to actually set that. Oh no, it's now it's designed. This needs masonry to come finish it. So someone should come back from come up from downstairs and actually build this thing. There we go. And we can watch the trade depot come alive, because in a couple seconds, yep, the bits fly around the room like magic, and then suddenly we have ourselves a fantastic light blue trade depot. So this isn't going to do a darn thing for now, but this will give us access to trades, let us use our broker, because a broker means you can get a better deal, a better value for your trades, and it's definitely good to have your broker, someone with a broker skill, do that job. So we have that set up for now. That sounds good. We're not going to do anything with it for the time being, because there's no one there who wants to trade with us, but we will be doing some other things shortly. We should be able to come downstairs and see if our mechanic workshop is built. It is now built. Fantastic. We're going to set some jobs on that. We hit Q to access the menu, hit A to set a job, and we're going to be building rock mechanisms. So we set that to go, and we hit repeat. Rock mechanisms are amazing. They're the best. I use them all the time in my trades because they're very valuable. It's very easy to have a dwarf designed to just do the mechanic job, and he will dig and dig and dig and dig and build, dig and dig and dig. He will make and make and make and make and make mechanisms, so he'll get really good at it and make really good ones, and you can sell them for a fairly hefty sum, and they are pretty darn good as trade goods. There's better stuff because they're also quite heavy, but they do what I need them to do quite nicely. Plus, they let you build a lot of interesting things like switches and traps and whatnot. So we're going to start building those because we need those up and running soon. So that's good. Is anything else still built yet? Our forge isn't built yet. These other machine shops aren't done yet. That's okay though. The ones we have are good. We're also, do we have a second carpenter? I don't remember. Let's take a look at our dwarf therapist. Do we have a second carpenter? No, we do not. So we're not going to worry about setting a second carpentry job. Although maybe we might make someone become a carpenter temporarily. Like I might make Sivart Trib here into a carpenter temporarily so that he can help us with our wood problem. Because we are in a little bit of trouble as far as wood goes. And I think for now we can do with one less miner. So we'll swap him over to carpentry. Then we're going to go commit those changes and hop back into our game. With that second carpentry workshop, we are going to start them building cages. So hit J to make wooden cages, and R to repeat it, of course. There we go. If we go take a look downstairs, we can see that more or less everything down here has been dug out. So our miners are just, doing whatever they feel like now, which is fine. There's a lot of gunk on this screen, though. So I'm going to give you a little tip here so you can make sure you can see what you're doing without all this stuff in the way. So what we're going to do is we are going to pause the game. We're going to hit, I believe it's designations, set building item properties with B. So there's D then B. And now you have this thing, hide items and buildings. So we hit H. And if we select an area now, all of those stones on the floor should become, magically, invisible. They won't immediately become invisible until we come out of this menu, but it means that we don't have to look at them all the time. But there's no reason to clear them out of here, because people can use them from this area, and it doesn't actually hurt us to have them there. They're not going to block anything. They're just a little bit unsightly. So we come and we select them all with our hide tool. We can select them individually, we can select large areas. One thing you do want to be careful of, though, is that you don't select your beds if you're doing it in the bedroom area, because you can very easily accidentally hide your beds, which is not exactly what I had in mind. So we'll come through here, we'll clean out all those rocks. We should get them more or less cleaned out shortly. There we go. We'll clear out this whole area because there's no beds in there, so there's no worry of accidentally knocking them invisible. And we'll come down and do this last area. So the nice thing about this is that your dwarves can still use these resources even if you don't have to look at them, and they don't clutter up your space, which is always nice. So we'll come down here, do some of the final touches there. There we go, that'll do. And we're pretty much done as far as hiding things goes. Now, it is not really necessary, there's no reason to do this if you don't feel the need, but it can be quite nice to not have things cluttering up your view all the time, so that's why we do it. I'm going to come and clean out the last of these little goodies, and then we should be able to get this all vanished. So if I hit escape now, ta-da! We have our clean little fortress, and that's what I like to see. It looks a lot nicer, doesn't it? Also, the blue and yellow down here is kind of cool. Now, I believe we can build a couple more beds. No, we don't have any more beds. That's okay, we don't need any more beds. We'll come back upstairs. There we go, and see, these guys are working. We have this mechanic over here who is putting things into the mechanics workshop to make us some lovely gears. The mechanism picture is a gear in this, which is fine. It Looks lovely. What is that? I'm not sure what that is. Let's take a look. That is a wheelbarrow. Yeah, what do you know? Our dwarves make all manner of things. So once we get some cages up and running and some mechanisms up and running, we'll be able to make ourselves some defenses. So there's some of our gears, you see, right there. And we just had this warning you get here, cancels plant seeds, needs plump helmet spawn. We are going to see that a lot. People have a hard time realizing that they're out of seeds, and will just keep telling you that they're out of seeds over and over and over again. So, a little bit problematic. Also, I think we have some cages being built, but I'm not sure where they're going. Oops, wrong button. Q to make sure that is what I set him to do. He's making cages. Where are they? If we check with K, is there a whole heap of cages in there that aren't being put anywhere? No, it doesn't look like it. Where are the cages going? Are they in here somewhere, or has he just not made one yet? He might not have made one yet, because I don't think he's a very good carpenter. He has, like, 0 skill. So, we'll see if he actually... Is he just taking a ton of wood to make cages with and not actually getting anything made? That would be unfortunate. There's another nice mechanism done. That's worrying. Alright, well that's okay for now. What we're going to do is we're going to start the most important thing that we can build right now. We're going to check that we have the right height here. Yeah, we're looking like we're pretty good. We are going to build ourselves a building. We're going to be building ourselves a bridge, so that's B and then G. We're going to use the U and M keys to change the height of our bridge, because we don't, rather just the U key, because we make it 5 tall. I think it's a nice visual distance. We're going to make it 3 wide, so it fills our entire entry hall. And we're going to plop that down right here. We're also going to make sure we change the raise direction using W, A, D, X, or S, which are, of course, W to make it raise up, you know, A to make it raise to the left, D for the right, X down, and S to make it retract, which we're not going to be doing. We're going to make it raised to the top. So that means that this line right here is going to become an impenetrable wall if we raise those blocks. So we're going to place this. It's going to take some kind of material. We're going to use a stone because we want to make sure it's nice and tough. We're going to use quartzite for it. There we go. And that's fine. We're going to do that. We're also going to build ourselves a trap component. So we're going to come over here, traps and levers, go to T, and we're going to make ourselves a lever with L. There we go. We're going to put the lever in our barracks for the time being. So we'll stick that, how about there? Looks pretty good to me. Maybe there, in the middle of the room. Yeah, in the middle of the room. That's fine. Now put it there. That's a better spot. And we need one mechanism to make a lever with, which is why we wanted them too. So we use that to make our lever, and we're going to use the bridge as well shortly. So once those get built, we're going to have some nice defenses up and running, and that makes us a lot more survivable. And that is a key thing in this game. Not dying all the time is a lovely thing. Oh, yes it is. Especially because we don't have our military up and running yet. Although hopefully, once we get our next wave of migrants, we'll be able to start doing that, and then we will be really nice and underway. So, he's now starting to do the architecture, the building on our bridge. Has he finished it? No, architecture is still happening, so he's still bringing all the stones over so we can actually start building it. And someone else is bringing over our mechanics. Excellent. Our lever has been finished. What is this? Just, yeah, see, look at this. We got 3 notifications here that they need plump helmet spawn. I know it's empty. I know we need plump helmet spawn. We don't have any, though, so you have to wait until some of our plump helmets actually grow, and you can get some more that way. That's the problem, though. The reason it happens so much is because they'll get one, because the plump helmet will grow. They'll try and plant it again and immediately fail because they don't have any more new ones, and they'll tell us a new announcement for it, which is, we're going to get a lot of those. So that's okay. It doesn't concern me. It's a bit spammy, but it doesn't actually cause any problems. So once our lever and our bridge are built, we have to do one more thing, which I believe takes 2 more mechanisms. So we should have a couple more mechanisms in a minute once our mechanic gets a bit more building done, which shouldn't be too long from now. And we have a little bit of dead stuff in here, but our people should carry that out in no time, so that shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, once we have that extra mechanism, good, we do have 2 already. We can take a look upstairs. Once this is built, then our defenses will be lovely. But it looks like it's taking a little bit of stone, because he has to bring up every stone individually. It can help to put a stone stockpile near what the thing you're trying to build is, if it's a big project and needs a lot of stuff. Because that way you actually have all the stuff on hand, and you don't have to walk all the way into your base and all the way out. Whoop, 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 whoop. We're going to be doing a bunch of things later on as well. That's too far out now. No. Game, come on. Okay. Whew. So, what I was trying to say is, we're going to be trying to build some other stuff out here too. We're going to be trying to build a road outside of our fortress that people can use. But for the time being, we're not going to worry too much about that kind of stuff. we want to make sure our defenses, our immediate defenses, are prepared in case anything happens to us, because we're getting close to the 1 year mark here, I believe, and that means that we're getting close to the point where nasty things can start to arrive. So our designer is architecting up that quartzite bridge, which should be nice. It is rough. It would be smooth if we used quartzite blocks, but we didn't bother refining the blocks because there's no real point. So it will be a quartzite bridge, a rough quartzite bridge for now, which is fine. Now once our mason gets over there and actually builds it, our defenses will be much more effective. Much more effective. If we come downstairs, do we have any cages down here yet? I still don't see any. I don't know where they've gone. I'm going to make sure that this thing can actually take cages. So we'll change the settings here for animals. We're going to enable animals. Aha. We're going to disable all the animal types, but we're going to allow empty cages. There we go. So now people should put some empty cages in there from wherever they've been accumulating mysteriously. There we go. And now those cages will be very useful to us. So we're going to hop back upstairs. We're going to use some more of our mechanic parts, at least once this bridge is finished. We're going to make sure we have enough to connect it to the lever, because otherwise it's completely useless. And then we'll start working a bit more on our actual defenses. It's looking pretty solid so far, though. So things are looking pretty good. We got a lot of nice yellow trees out here. What kind of tree is that? Yeah, they're maples. Oh, they're changing colors with the seasons. That's fantastic. I love it. I don't think I've ever actually seen that before. I've never been in a place that had trees that had leaves that changed color. It's cute. Alright. Any other interesting mornings here? We're out of... Ooh. Oh boy. That's not so good. We're out of drink, and we're out of the seeds need to make them... Okay. Ooh, so we're getting into danger time here. If we take a look at our stocks, we have plenty of drinks now. We're up to 90, which is lovely. But we have no more plump helmets. So the mushrooms that are both our food and the source of our drinks are completely run out right now, which is not ideal. Not ideal at all. So we really need to get some more food coming in here, which is definitely high priority. We want to also make sure we get some more drinks coming in soon, otherwise those 90 drinks aren't going to last very long. Our dwarves who get thirsty tend to get a little bit mad if they have nothing to drink. So our mason is building his bridge, and that's pretty good, but we're going to need to get more stuff going soon. Oh, yes, we will. So, once that bridge is done, we can connect it. There we go. He's getting down the foundations for our bridge. Like you can see there, he's got those 2 little points set up, which is good. Very good indeed. Finish that bridge there, chum. I know you're not the best mason, but you're pretty good. There's 3 of those on both sides, and the next stage should be more or less completed, and then we'll be able to get the next thing done. Now, waiting and watching like this is probably not ideal, but it's kind of cool to just watch them build every once in a while. There we go, our bridge is finished. So now we can do the next step. We're going to hit Q again to touch on our lever. On the lever, we're going to add a new task, so that's hitting A, of course. Now we have a whole bunch of things we can connect this lever to. We're going to be connecting to our bridge, so we hit A and then B to link to a bridge. It's going to automatically select it because we only have 1. Then we hit Enter to assign it to that thing. If there was more than 1, we'd be able to select through the list, but there's only 1, so we don't have to worry about that. Once we select it, we have to pick another kind of mechanism, so we'll use our chert mechanism and a quartzite mechanism, 1 for each end. And once we set that to go, someone will come and connect them, which means if we turn this lever on, the bridge will rise. A very useful little tool, makes us actually really easy to defend if people come and try and swarm us. Now the next thing we're going to do, again defenses, we're thinking defensively in this episode, we're going to build ourselves some more traps. So we're going to go into traps and hit T. We are going to be going for cage traps, because cage traps are amazingly powerful. So we're going to fill this whole hallway here with cage traps eventually, but for now we're just going to put down a couple. So we're going to put a cage trap in there, we're going to put down the mechanism. These are really cheap to build. All you need is a mechanism and you can place down the trap. We're going to put a couple down for now because we shouldn't have to worry about them too much. The thing is, you of course need cages with your cage traps. So people will bring up the mechanisms and fit them into place and build them into cage traps, and then someone else will come up and put a cage on top. And what that means is, if any hostile mobs try and come into our fortress and step on one of those tiles, they will find themselves suddenly trapped. Also, amidst all these angry red messages, woo, holy cow, the Zoom is doing crazy things. Some migrants have arrived. Da-da-da-da! So we're going to look at our dwarf therapist here and take a look at our new people. We read our dwarves again. Wave 2 includes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more dwarves. Fantastic. 1's a child, but that's okay. We have a lot more dwarves here on hand, and that's lovely. Now we have a hunting dwarf, which is fantastic. Hunting dwarves often come with a crossbow that they can use for their hunting. So that's good. That'll give us another source of food. They can go down and kill stuff for us. What do we have here? We have a surgery and a wound dressing dwarf. That's not bad. You are a fish cleaning fishing dwarf. That's okay. We can do some fishing. We have a big brook there, so I'm sure we can find some fish in there. We have 2 fishermen, which might be a little bit excessive, but we do need food, so I'm not going to change them for now because that could be really useful. We've also got... What are you? You're an architecture dwarf. That's kind of cool. But we don't really need another architecture dwarf, so we're probably going to redesign him. We have a butchery, milling, and brewing dwarf. That's not bad. And a brewing, milling, potash making, and spinning dwarf. These aren't jobs we really need right now, so we're probably going to be redesigning a bunch of these dwarves. I'm also going to rename them, probably in a minute. We should probably check how long this episode's actually been going on for. So let's do that, and then we will see what we have to do. Alright, so we've got a little bit of time left, and we have renamed all of our dwarves. So, welcome Blaz, Saird, Anilo, Jakivo, Marak, Rez, Victor Malik, and Waynuski. You're now part of our dwarf team, part of Wave 2. So what have I changed them to? Well, Blaz is going to stay being a hunter and trainer, because a hunter is fantastic. He'll come with his own bow, hopefully, and he'll be able to kill some animals for us, giving us some more food. Now, on the other hand, we need someone to actually butcher those animals. So now Saird, our new dwarf, is going to be our butcher. He has some skill in it already, which is good. Doesn't make a huge difference, really, because it's only level 1, but that's okay. He can be our butcher. And I've taken off his other jobs because I have a feeling I want him to be doing butchery most of the time. We can't give Inilo jobs yet because he's still a child. Jakivo, on the other hand, is now they're going to stay a fish cleaner. Marak is now a second woodcutter because we want to make sure we can get enough wood to supply all of our carpenters. We have 2 carpenters' workshops going, which means you can burn through wood really fast. Rez is a second mason, just in case things need to get built a bit quicker. Victor Malik is going to be a fisherman, fish cleaner, fish dissector as well for the time being, and Waynuski is a tanner to tan the hides that our butcher makes. However, you can also see, if we go to our military thing, a lot of these people have some military skills, which is good, because a lot of them are probably going to be joining our soon-to-be-formed military. Zimti and Shortstop might also be joining. I'm not sure what they do. Shortstop is our brewer, right, training brewer. He's going to be a military dwarf. And Zimti is one of our secondary farmers, and he's going to be a military dwarf as well. So we're probably going to be taking them, and Logan, of course, because he's our starting champion here as far as axe using goes. I'm going to be sticking them into our first military squad, but we're not going to be doing that just yet. We've got a couple more little things to do first, so let's hop into our game here and make sure... there we go, and make sure it all works out as planned. So our dwarves have popped in over on the other side of the brook again, but that's fine. Apparently the reason they can cross this river is because it's actually a brook, and that doesn't cause any problems for people, which is nice. I didn't know that. So they will eventually work their way over to us, and once that happens, we'll be able to get underway. Oh, look at the trees! They're turning red! That's so cute. Maple trees. But yeah, we're definitely getting through fall. It's going to be winter soon. And once that happens, we could be in some trouble. So we're going to make sure we get nice and prepared before that happens. We take a look downstairs. We can see that we have a lot of cages now. People need to build our traps and put the cages on them. I'll leave him building cages for a little while longer, and then I'll probably stop that, because otherwise we're going to run out of wood, and we don't really need this many cages at this point. The mechanisms are always good to leave running, because there's plenty of stone lying around for them to use to make them with, and it doesn't do us any harm to have extras. If we come upstairs, we can check our masonry shop and make sure that's working. If we look in there, no, nothing is happening in the mason shop. So we're going to go into there. We're going to start them making some doors for us out of stone. So rock doors, go, repeat. That will get our doors working so we can actually close up some of these areas that we've been using as just open hallways so far, turn them into actual doors. And once that's done, that'll be nice. Now, we're going to start up another cool project next time, getting ourselves a nice water supply in case our alcohol does run out. But for now, we're not going to worry too much about that. We want to make sure our migrants actually make it to us safely. It looks like most of them are taking the plunge and crossing the lake now. Once they get over to us, they will drop off whatever they came over with, and they'll be able to get their new gear. If we can find the Mark's dwarf, we might be able to see what he has with him, but it looks like he might have already gone inside. If we take a look here, this might be him. Who's that? That's our fishery worker. Okay, that's not him. And this is our medical doctor, the res, surgeon. Yeah, okay, so I don't see him. He must have already gotten into the fortress. I guess once people get over that fear of the water, they get across no problem. Yeah. What did he just... Hang on. What did he just do? Is he all... He's a fishery worker. Did he get a fish there? That'd be cool. Yeah, Victor Malik already doing the fishing stuff. Cool. I'm cool with that. I think he might have just scooped one up in a bottle or something, though. That's weird. Maybe he's already fishing, too, because if he's fishing in that pond, that would make sense. he doesn't have an X on him, so he must have already made it back to the fortress already and has gone back there to actually catch some fish. That's kind of cool. These guys have already integrated themselves into our fort. I like it. Why is there string on the ground there? Uh-oh. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, that's an interesting thing. JKvo just got into our fortress, has already been possessed. Ooh, possession. This could be bad for JKvo. He may wind up dead very quickly if we can't acquiesce to his crazy demands. But he has gone into what is called a fey mood, a strange mood, rather. There's a whole bunch of different kinds of strange mood, and possession is a dangerous one. Basically, all of them are dangerous if you can't do what they want. But what that means is he's going to want to make some mysterious construction. Until that can happen, though, we have to know what he wants. If we look at him, we might be able to figure out what it is. I'm not sure if it's K we need to look at him with, though. Yeah, from what we see here, we don't see what he wants, but that's okay. We should be able to figure it out with Q, perhaps? I can't remember exactly what it is you need to look at him with to see what he wants. Maybe we'll just let him go. He's going to suddenly go and try and find things, bring them to a workshop, and then start a mysterious construction, like we said. It looks like the workshop he needs isn't built yet, though. So we're going to hop back downstairs and make sure we build whatever it is he wants so that he can make use of it. So we're going to go into our build menu, into our workshops menu, and make sure we have a fishery. We do have one. It looks like it's not finished yet. So we take a look and see if it is here or is built. Is it in here or is it upstairs with our food? It's probably upstairs with our food stuff. So is the fishery completed? It looks like it might be. No, awaiting construction. Okay, someone has to come and build this. Someone with fishing, so probably going to be Victor Malik then, because JKvo's already gone crazy. He has to... Actually, the thing is, it's hard to tell what he wants because of the fact that he's gone crazy. So we're going to go and make sure we have everything he could want to build anything with. So we'll make him a dyer shop, I suppose. So we'll hit D for dyer shop and stick one of those on the floor. Because just because he happens to be designed with a certain thing in mind doesn't... Oh, I can't use our bucket yet. I know we can use our bucket, that's fine. Just because he happens to be... have a certain job, when he does his mysterious, strange mood, he can try and build anything. So it's always good to have anything on hand, so you can always have what they want. We'll also build our ashery here, because we're going to want one of those later too. Oh, we don't have any buckets or blocks. Right. Right. Okay. Can we build a... That's fine. We're going to start building cages, though, because we don't need any more at the moment, so we'll cancel that task. We'll start him making tables instead. That's T, I believe. Yes, it is. We hit R to repeat it. There we go. We'll come over here and stop making barrels, too. So we got a nice number of those for now. Stop making barrels, and you're going to start making chairs, which is C, I believe. Yes, it is. Repeat that, too. Excellent. But yeah, we need to make sure those shops actually get built, because until they're built, we don't know what it is our strange-mooded dwarf actually wants to build with. So if we come over here, he's still just chilling out here, because we don't have the workshop he wants. And until we do, he won't actually go and start building. And if we leave it too long, or we don't have the materials he wants to build with, he may very well start to go crazy, and he may start doing damage to other things nearby. I'm not sure what this dwarf is doing here, just chilling out in our barracks room. But whatever, Captain Gushendug has created a masterpiece. Have you? Don't you have a name? Let me quickly check our dwarf therapist thing here. Did you not get a name? Oh, that's Logan. It just doesn't give us the nicknames in those menus, I guess. Okay. That's disappointing, but whatever. It's actually really disappointing. Okay, I don't know if there's anything we can do about that. But we do need to get more of those workshops built, otherwise our crazy dwarf is going to stay crazy. Hopefully they'll get in there and actually build those things shortly. However, we're going to have to stop this episode here for now. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully you've enjoyed the episode. I've certainly enjoyed playing through it. And